Cockerel Doodle Doo, everyone. Welcome back to Tottenham on Tour, the world famous home of Levy out. And we're here. We've got a few guests today. It is game day, as Mr. Butler likes to say. And it's a good day, isn't it, Aki?
It's good that it's game day. There's lots to discuss about why it may not be good and why same old. But we'll get into that. But listen, we do have 3 guests coming on very, very shortly. But there's going to be some changes to Tottenham on Tour that you're going to start seeing over the coming weeks. And the first one is the logo. So as you can see at the moment, top right, or probably top left, wherever it is on your blooming screens, is the old logo. Say goodbye to that. And welcome in the new logo to Tottenham on Tour. We want to update things and make things better. So before anyone asks, anyone that's bought a t-shirt from us with the old logo, when the new logo comes out, we will be giving you a discount on any item you buy from the new range that is coming out. So we will sort that. I've got to go touch up my bloody tattoo now. I've got to go touch this up now.
You got to rip your tattoo off your arm. Rip it off. Throw it away.
There's lots and lots of things changing. That being the first one, you're going to see we really are upping our level this year for you guys and the channel. So welcome the new logo. Let's just say hello to everyone, Ben, in the chat, and then we'll bring the guests in. But like I said, there's a lot to come over the coming weeks. But go through the chat, Ben. I'll leave it to you.
We've got Bill in the house. Good to see you, mate. And he's talking about that. I'm going to star that because that is a talking point. We've got the #1 Angeball in the world. #1 Angeball. We've got Ash P, the Madame producer of Shelfside on Tour. Good to see you, Ashy. Hopefully you're well, lovely. Hopefully you're well. We got John Ellis Hall, Graham Hill, Tavacron, Wembley 1. We've got Joris. We've got Mr. Andrew Gregory. Good to see you, mate. Good to see you. Lee Smithy Smith. Good to see you. Good to see you. Tigaro, the single parent theory. Good to see you, mate. We've got Kate Rixon, good to see you. Good to see you. Hopefully you're well. We got Tigaro giving a membership.
Yes, Tigaro.
If you have received a membership this morning, please say thank you to Tigaro. It is great stuff. We've got Who's News. Good to see you, mate. Good to see you, Who's News. We got Sean Slater. Good to see you, Sean. We got Merovingian. Good to see that. Donny Rodriguez, Mr. Sweden himself. Ryan McFarlane. MZ, good to see ya. We got Tibor. MG. Daniela Zito. Buongiorno. We got Peter Breen. I was going to say Peter Green. It's not, what's it called? Fleetwood Mackin. We're not Fleetwood Mackin. Benjamin Foster, good to see ya. Colin Cross, Mr. Wales, other than the other Mr. Wales that's in the chat. We got Fran, and we've got anyone else? Kookaburra, David Shire, big up. We got Rain Man, Hypo Noise, Simon Curran, and that is it. Want to welcome some guests on, Brian?
Yes, I do. And Simon, I don't know what's happened here. I've got a spot that is taken over my forehead. And I don't know what's going on.
You're officially becoming Davros.
God knows what's happening. It's today. It's the spot featuring Brian Daigle. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got Cobber giving us another.
Thank you, sir.
Membership. Many members on the Tottenham on Touring Army. But let's welcome today's guest. Starting off, we've got Mr. Wales of Tottenham on Tour. We've got David. Good to see you, mate. We'll get to you.
Good morning.
We've got the sheriff. The sheriff is in the house. This town ain't big enough for the 2 of us, except there's 4 of us. But now it's going to become 5. We've got Ian. Mr. Lubin is in the house. Morning. David, how are you this morning, sir?
I'm all right. I've been pretty unwell over the New Year period, but I'm feeling a lot better now. And yeah, glad to be back on.
Good to have you, buddy.
Good to have you. Sheriff, howdy.
Yes, all is good here. It's finally stopped raining. Yes, there's blue skies outside, so I believe half my county's underwater. So, but other than that, it's all good.
That's good to hear. And Mr. Lubin, how are you this morning, sir?
All well, thanks. All well, all good. Looking forward to today's show.
Yeah. And whose news is giving you a stop squeezing your spot, Brian?
Oh, mate, I've been using alcohol wipes. I'm on the verge of using toothpaste. People keep saying to me toothpaste, and I keep forgetting.
Don't use the ghost pepper toothpaste that you bought, though, because that's a very painful day.
I'm known for doing stupid and crazy things. Putting ghost chili toothpaste on my face is definitely not going to be one of them.
Absolutely. But we've got some hard-hitting news to start the show with, and it is all about Dragusin, or otherwise known as Levy dragging us in the mud, as usual. So, what do you think about the Dragusin news? Dragusin has apparently been contacted by Napoli, and it very much looks like Napoli are moving ahead in the race, unless Tottenham get their fingers out, which we know where that's going. What do you think of this news, Aki, from last night?
So let's just say, obviously, Napoli, the pressure from them, or the agent talk from Napoli is getting stronger and stronger. What I will say is, I don't know if Ian's seen it or people have seen it. There's update today, whether it's true or not. It's coming out of the Italian press. Could be agents, could be this, but I'll just read it. Dragusin to Napoli update. Things are progressing fast. Napoli's new offer is 20 million plus Ostigard plus Zanoli on loan for Dragusin. Genoa will be willing to accept it if Zanoli joins permanently instead of just a loan. Because of this, Napoli are stepping up the original deal for Zanoli to join Genoa on loan with an option to buy to change terms to get Dragusin in. Now, when the news broke yesterday, I said, I still think this still gets done. I 100% still think this still gets done. And it's a lot of noise. But the worrying thing is the noise is going from a whisper to a murmur to chat to shouting.
To that.
Listen, I spoke with another very good friend of the channel, Ian Meth, last night. Personally, we had a little bet that the Here We Go would be done by Wednesday midnight UK. Here we are Friday. Obviously, I really wanted to lose that bet, but I didn't. I won the bet, so who'd have thought it? And he was saying the quieter it's gone, the more worried I'm getting. And he for sure isn't the way I feel about the chairman. He is very middle of the road with it, which is, I love listening to Ian. Ian speaks a hell of a lot of sense. And the one thing I take from it with Ian, and we did a show on it when I was back in London, Ange Postecoglou, wherever he goes, gets his players early. Listen, it's day before people go, oh, it's only day 5. It's only day 5. Postecoglou, when he's been at Celtic, and I don't know if any Celtic fans are in or Celtic followers, when he was at Celtic, deals were announced before January that they were joining January the 1st, or were in within the first 5 to 10 days. Well, we are at the halfway part, and I am concerned, but I still think it gets done.
Yeah. What do you think of this news, Mr. David? It's another long transfer window, isn't it? It's another long transfer window.
Yeah, I mean, like Brian just said then, do you know what I mean? Ange liked his players in early. Now, when we got, I think it was Langin, got Scott Munn, right? You thought there was going to be this slight change where they'd have the players ready, they'd have the contacts ready, stuff like that. Now, when I was a part of a big group on Twitter when it comes to transfers, obviously I've seen a lot through the summers, seen a lot through the Januaries. And this has got a bit of a feeling of some I've seen previously where we're looking at a player, we've agreed with the player apparently, you know what I mean, we're in talks. And another team comes in and they start offering these things and all that, like, and it always feels like it's there for us to push. You know, go in, get the deal done, get him over here. But the silence that's happened so quickly, I've got a feeling that they might actually be considering the Napoli deal. because it gets them 2 players plus 20 million. Whereas we're offering what? I think it's around about 25, 26.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? It's a little worry because, you know, our first target to buy, though, I think his name is, the reason we didn't go for him was because obviously we didn't want to wait around. Yet, here we are waiting around. So, yeah, it's a little worry, but I think it might get done. But obviously, when it comes to this beautiful club of ours, it could break down pretty quickly.
Absolutely. Mr. Sheriff, what do you reckon about this deal? Dragusin is taking a lot longer. I said last week, before the transfer window opened, if we don't have a centre-back in by the 10th of January, this window is a disaster. And I'm saying a disaster. All hell should break loose because we knew for the last 2 months, with all the injuries we've had and all the suspensions, we need a centre-back. And they've had 2 months. They've had an entire half a season to prepare getting a centre-back in.
Oh, of course they have. Of course they have. Like, it's whenever we go for a player, it's the same story. It's like on a repeat cycle.
Yeah.
You know, say they want 30 million, we'll go in with low ball 20, and then it takes 3 or 4 weeks, and then eventually we'll stick somewhere at 25, 26. You know, it's the same thing. If you want the player, just pay the money. Just pay the money. You know, it's not difficult, is it? It's like me coming into your coffee shop, Ben, and saying, I'll give you £3 for a coffee.
Oh, Mr. Lubin did something worse than that. He offered me £1.50. He full-blown levied me. He levied me.
Goodness.
That's how
I asked
doesn't
if there are any New Year discounts at the coffee company.
Yeah, you asked for £1.50 for a cup of coffee.
Yeah, but you were bumping the price up. You were ripping me
Damn
off.
right I was. Damn right I was.
Ben Levy.
I've upped yours to £5.
50 pence for each spoonful of sugar. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
So it should be.
That's a new one.
Yeah, no. I agree with that policy.
Sugar is more expensive. Sugar is more expensive than syrup. But what do you think of this deal, Mr. Ian? What do you think of this deal?
I'll sit on the fence. 2 ways of looking at it. Number one, it's being fed by the agents to get Spurs to push their offer up, which it could well be. Or if it is true and Napoli have jumped in front of us, then you know, every single time there's a manager, and as we go on, this is manager number 16. You just think to yourself, Levy makes the same mistake time after time after time. The guy's 62. Do you look at it and think to yourself, he's old enough now to understand mistakes and actually finally learn from it? Or do you think to yourself, he's never going to change at this age? And it's a worry because, you know, you thought to yourself, he's on last chance saloon with Ange. Where does he go? If Ange walks out, if Ange just says, you know what, this isn't for me, which he could do, you know, if Levy doesn't back him, and he'll look at it and think, well, I'm fighting everyone hand behind the back. If he decides to walk out and just say enough, you know, where does Levy go from there? I mean, probably to the Qataris. So
who knows? Who knows?
So, you know, he's got to start backing his manager.
Yeah. You've got more chance of pigs flying with rockets attached to their feet. We've got 2 super chats. One from Tigaro giving us 2 Aussie dollars. Cheers, Cobber. Cheers, Cobber. Saying, if we F this up, I'm going back to the gills. And we've got Ave Master saying, say BS every season. Cheers for the £2.
I just want to add something to this, and that where people are saying relax, it's day 5. This will get done. Like I've said, I personally think this gets done without question.
Yeah.
But I'm getting slightly irritated with the calm down. It's early. It's not early. We needed a centre back last summer, and we didn't get him. We knew we were one short. We knew we needed another one. This is why we're going for Lloyd Kelly. And right at the end, Shabala, which was a desperate Hail Mary, and you threw it the direction of one of our fiercest rivals. as if they were going to help because it was location and easy to get done,
Yeah.
and made to look silly because it was never going to happen. So we knew we were one short. Then we've had from September the 1st to January the 1st the plan for the centre-back that was desperately needed. Then, whilst planning, we brought in Mackenzie and Lange. I personally think they're mainly there for the summer, and they're starting their work now, ready for the summer. But then you have injuries to Romero, and a suspension followed by an injury with Romero. Then you have a huge injury to Van der Ven, who both look like they're coming back and coming back early, which is great, but isn't the reason to go, okay, we can slow down their back. It should be to say, right, we get another one in, so they're there. Then we've been playing four fullbacks in defence. So the people saying it's early, yes, it is early in January. It's 5 days old. But wanting and needing a defender is not early. It's far from early. You look at the other stats that we had the third worst defence in the calendar year because two centre-backs were out, and last season we were absolutely goddamn useless.
Yeah.
And you look at last season, we had the worst defence in our modern day history. So people saying it's early, it's getting, I understand because it's the 5th, but it's getting slightly irritating because it's been needed since June.
Yeah.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
We've got another super chat for A user giving us £5. That really helps us out a lot. Cheers, A user. Say morning all. Even though we have a new recruitment team, Levy is still pulling the strings. I reckon we will fluff Dragusin and end up with Lloyd Kelly. It's a worry, isn't it, Brian? It's a worry. Not that I would be mad with Lloyd Kelly. If the manager okays the signing, I'm okay with it. But we'll go to David next. I'm predicting, and this is me sticking my head above the parapet. If this deal does get done, it will be done by the 15th. By which time Romero will almost be back, and Dragusin will play one game, and then Romero will be straight back in the team. So there will literally be no point of signing the guy because he will be sitting on the bench for the rest of the season. Because Romero doesn't usually get one or two really bad injuries in a season. What do you think of this?
Before David answers, I just want to say big up to Mr. Finland. I will always make sure I say hello to this man. Always. You might be racking up some more air miles after the window, mate, so get prepared. This guy travels from Finland to protest, and I don't care. Whenever I see him, I will always, the mad love and respect I have for this man as a person and as a fan is be off the Richter scale. So, Jonas, good morning to you, brother. Sorry, David.
No, it's all right. I mean, this is the issue, and it's a big issue for us, right? When everyone's saying it's early in the window or look at the top clubs that haven't buy anyone, they're not as injury-riddled as us, And we're in a position now where if we were to get, say if Dragusin came in, right, on the 1st of January, he gets time to train, he gets time to bed himself in, and he's there available for, say, the FA Cup game against Burnley, right?
Yeah.
Which is a massive game for us. We always have struggled in the FA Cup the past couple of years, right? Now we're going to go into this FA Cup with Ben Davies as a fully fit, okay backup, right? An okay backup, yeah?
Yeah.
Van der Ven apparently has been training as well, but he's not going to be fully fit. So you can't just bang him immediately on the pitch because, you know what I mean? There's a risk there. I mean, we've seen with Bentancur. We got him back, put him on. He was out for months because of a tackle, right? So that's the biggest issue is the fact that we're being left short again. And it's happening once again. It's like rinse and repeat. And it's always the same way. When we've got a chance, right, to literally progress, there's always this block. There's always this little thing that drags out that little bit. If he wants to come, and we've agreed with him he wants to come, he should be here already. That's it. Simple as. It's not like we're going for a striker, taking someone's main striker or main midfielder or something like that.
Yeah.
They want to sell him, clearly. He's up for sale. So this being drawn out the way it is, it's just ridiculous. It's Levy penny pinching again.
Yeah.
And like I said, I believe it gets done. But when? Do you know what I mean? There's still pretty long time left in the January window. And the later it gets, the worse it becomes. Because like Ange literally said at the beginning of this, before the window, he prefers players in early because when they come in at the end of it, you've got to wait weeks and weeks for them to bed in. And then we have injuries back and all this. And it's just getting drawn out. Ridiculous when we need him for the games now.
Before we go on to the Sheriff, we've got another super chat. Thank you so much. Another 2 super chats, indeed. You've been very kind this morning, everyone. Thank you, Ontorian Army, as we like to call you. We got one from Tigaro saying, "Stop buying staff and start buying players for FC." I totally agree with you. Staff are not stopping goals going in the back of the net. Not for now. We've got one from Chang saying salutations to Daigle, Kaufman, Mark C, David, and Ian. Good to see you, Chang. Hopefully you're doing well. And we seem to have a war going on between David Shire and Tigaro for who can give the most. Stop giving memberships. It's wasting all your money. Go and buy some schooners for damn sake. It's game day. But thank you so much, David and Tigaro, for the 2 membership gifts. It really means a lot to all of us here on Tottenham on Tour, and it helps us grow the channel massively.
Chris, I'm so sorry we haven't spoke since I've got back to Toronto. We will speak over the weekend. I absolutely promise you. Hope you're good and your family are well. Back to you, Ben.
What's your opinion on the topic at hand, Mark?
It's the same old stuff.
It's the same old. Is it a disaster if we don't? Like, what do you think of my prediction that Dragusin won't be in by the 15th?
I completely agree with you. Whenever it never happens, because every transfer we're involved in is like a battle, and Daniel Levy must win the battle, even if he only saves a few pounds. You know, it's that is why no clubs like dealing with us, or there's a lot in a list that do not like dealing with us. So guys, when I was on the show the other day, I'm quite certain that there are certain clubs that have blocked his number. As soon as they get a call, I'm not speaking to him. Just he's on.
Tottenham, Leon, and Southampton.
Yeah. It's a war. It's not like, say, you go into a shop and you buy something and it's thank you very much, and that's it. When we do it, it's haggle, and then there must be it's like there's always, it's like there's got to be a winner and a loser, It's never come to some sort of amicable arrangement. He's just got to win everything. And it's just annoying because it's like Brian said, we've known since June that we need another centre back. So, that's 7 months ago. Where is he? It's just annoying. It really is.
What do you think of my prediction, Ian? Dragusin won't be in the door by the 15th.
Can I just add to that? I think we're going to have a clear indication of how far this is done, because where was it? So I thought I started.
Colin just put it in as well.
Someone said about Dragusin, Genoa are playing tonight. If Dragusin is in the team, then I think we'll know just how far this transfer is progressing, because if it is literally ready to rock and roll and him to make his move, then he shouldn't be starting. But that's what we'll see. I think that'll be a bit of an indication.
What do you think about this, Ian? What do you think about this, Ian?
What do I think? Okay, let me try and bullet points it quite simply. Levy only moves quickly if there's a deal, i.e. Modric, Dele Alli, Solomon, Danjuma, Vinicius on loan. These are all deals. 2 million, 3 million, free transfers. Basuma, 25 million. That's a deal. Why? Because he had 1 year left on his contract. Maddison, 30 million. Why? Because he had 1 year left on his contract and he'd just been relegated. And this is the problem. this is the issue. And Mark's right. Everything, I've said this on Spaces before, everything with Levy is a war. It's a personal war, and he's got to win. And the problem is, it's not a question, football is not an exact science. It's not like other business where obviously you've got to go for your best deal, otherwise you're frittering money away.
Yeah.
It's a situation where sometimes you get a better deal than what you expected, and sometimes you have to overpay. And as a businessman, you weigh it up and you look at everything. It's I'm in the fashion game. I've got customers who will sell garments for very low profit, but they've got to balance it out with selling garments at a higher profit so that they can make it work. And Levy should be doing the same. And and all depends how desperate you need that player. We are desperately short of a centre back. Obviously, Ange doesn't think Phillips is good enough. Otherwise, he would have played him. I mean, I don't know how bad Phillips is if he's playing Dyer and Emerson in front of him. But he's obviously doesn't rate him. And I might look silly because Phillips might be picked tonight, and I sincerely hope he does, because I don't want to see Emerson at the back like I had to stand behind that goal at Brighton and watch him get ripped to pieces last Thursday.
Yeah.
So the problem is Levy doesn't change. Now, the only thing that might change here is that if this is all true, and the agent is pushing, obviously, the player may want to come to Spurs. Spurs won't pay the price, so the agent looks at it and thinks to himself, "How am I going to resolve this? Let's get someone else involved, and that will drive the price up." And that could well be happening.
But we seem to forget that he only joined Genoa in the summer. He's only just joined there. He's not itching for a move. So if you want to get him out of there, you're going to have to.
Right.
Before we get to another super chat, there's another super chat in. I've got a comment from Ronnie saying, "Stop comparing buying something in a shop to a football deal." I hate this overcomplication of purchasing a commodity. A footballer is a commodity. What, as Rez likes to say, buying players is basically redistributing debt, which is that's a more complicated way of looking at it. But at the end of the day, a footballer is a commodity. They have a purchase price, they have a wage. It's just like if I want to employ someone from another coffee shop and I want to headhunt them. I go to them, I say, "How much are you earn in an hour?" They'll say, "Oh, I'm earning £9.50, £10 an hour." I'll give you 12. Count them. Bish, bash, bosh, they work for me in 5 minutes. Footballers are commodities. Yes, it is like going to a shop. Yes, it is. Because if you want to buy someone, you give them the money. The club will have an asking price. Whatever football player it is on planet Earth, whether it's Cristiano Ronaldo or whether it's Donny down the pub, they will have a purchase price. And we seem to, at Tottenham, to see what the asking price is, and we do what we have just done, offered €13 million less than the asking price. So Genoa, who are let's face it, a nothing club in Serie A, they're 12th, and there are bigger clubs in Serie B than Genoa, like the clubs and we are getting bullied by them because they have said, "We want €35 million because we've just bought this young up-and-coming centre-back in the summer. We would like to keep him. We will sell him, but here is our price, €35 million. So Tottenham, I know what, I'll give you 13 million less, just like a Trossard deal. They wanted £27 million credits of the realm, and we offered them 12. We always do this.
Yeah.
If they want 35 million, at least get in the ballpark. Footballers are commodities. They have a purchase price. Just pay it. Pay it, sort the wages out. It's really simple. And we seem to be overcomplicating things, don't we, Brian?
We do. Ben, I'm just going to go through three quick things very, very quickly that I started. Yeah. The man, Colin Cross. None of the top teams have bought anyone yet. Agreed completely.
Yeah.
But what I always say with this is the idea of this market is for us to close the gap on our rivals and get ahead. I completely understand where Colin's coming from, but it shouldn't be, "Oh, wait a minute, well, they haven't signed. We don't need to sign." We need to get our ducks in a row and sort our team out to compete but I completely get where everyone's coming from. No one's made a signing. It doesn't mean we should be sitting around waiting. The next one I want to say is Sean Slater, brother, Real Madrid. Real Madrid,
Yeah.
and I love bringing out the air quotations, our special relationship where they get our best players and in return we get money in Levy's pocket. And finally, Paddy, good morning to you, Paddy, sir. I hope you and the family are well. This is a guy who I talk with a lot, is not Levy out, but agrees with some parts of the thing. And he's right here. Talks are 100% going on and it will be done. I do agree, though, it should be done by now. As I said before, Daniel Levy will be very foolish if he does not backhand. And this is where we are. This is where we are. The situation at the moment is we've got this window. Andrew said he wants players early. And now we just need to do it and wait and see. You got to remember, this is still early. This even for me, this is still early. But I'm not having the it's day 5 for a centre back as a quote anymore. And we've got someone else that's joining in the membership gifting, and it's someone that's off screen but very, very close to being on a screen. So MZ, thank you very much. It's always a joy to see West Ham fans gifting Spurs people things. That's very, very nice. Thank you, MZ. And David Shire is not just gifting memberships, he's now gifting super chats. Thank you, kind sir.
Thank you so much.
What the hell did they bring Lange infrastructure? Listen, for me, and this is what we've got to get. We can all have a discussion about this. Scott Munn has come in, and Scott Munn for me, if you look at the organisation chart, it's Levy or Lewis, Levy, football, Paratici, business, Munn, and then you've got Mackenzie and Lange under it. I don't think Munn's got a solid thing to do with transfers. Not one thing personally. But Ben, I'll hand it back to you, brother.
It's I think we're going to move on from this because we're all starting to get worked up. So we're going to talk about our signings of the season. Our signings of the season, everyone. Tottenham have got Sergio Reguilon and Jed Spence back from loan. Yay! Yay! What do you think? Are these two going to push us to win the league title, David?
No. I mean, Ange didn't want him, hence why they went out on loan. I mean, Reguilon went because obviously he needed game time, and the fact that United have cut his loan short as well tells you everything he needs to know about that one. And with Spence as well. I mean, from what I've seen from Leeds fans and everything, apparently it was a big attitude issue, which we all heard that. I mean, we heard the noise when he was at Forest with was it Neil Warnock, I think it was, he had dramas with, hence with the picture and the cigar and all that type of stuff. And, you know what I mean, Ange said, we've seen many of interviews of him turning around and saying, you need the right characters in the changing room. One wrong character can derail everyone in it.
Yeah.
And I think that's why you've seen certain players go out on loan. The likes of Regi, Spence and Dombele. Players who just don't seem to be the right fit. So I can see them both going back out on loan. You know, I mean, I think they've got contracts till 2017. So, no, 2017. 2027, I think, Spence and Regi have. So, you know what I mean? I feel like they're just going to go out on loan again. And this is the issue for me, is with players always going out on loan and not getting rid of players, we don't bring in what we need because of that. Because we've got so many people on the books and sitting there taking wages. Because even though they're out on loan, doesn't mean the loaning team pays all the wages. We'll still be paying some of it. And that's a big issue there. But yeah, no. I don't think we'll see Regi or Spence in the team at any time.
You've been so negative, David. They're going to win us the league title. They're going to win us the league, aren't they, Mark?
Of course.
They've scored 20 goals this year.
Of course they are. Well, the first question should be, can either of them play centre-back?
No.
Oh. Well, we'll just fit them in there. They'll be able to. Yeah, but like, I mean, the stuff I know about like Jed Spence, I'm sort of thinking that he may be another Dele Alli. All the talent in the world, just waste it. You know, he seems to be going down that path. Everyone's saying about his attitude, you know, and he's not interested. You know, I mean, well, I mean, it's obvious they're just going to disappear on loan again somewhere until we can. But the trouble is, even if we try and sell them, Levy always wants too much for him because he wants to get his money back. Just accept whatever and get them off the wage bill. It's the easiest thing to do. If they do not want them, get rid.
So I'm just going to very quickly say here, if this is true, if it will just show what is going on at this. And I keep saying, if we left Todibo because it was too strenuous to get done, we moved on to the next target because we're not messing around, but then we've gone back to the original target. It will show the complete mess this football club is. This is Dybala all over again. This is go for Dybala, can't get him because of image rights, drop him. Then 1 minute before the end of the window, go for him again, knowing it's not going to happen. If we're backing for Todibo, then my doubts of who is running the show completely go.
I would say that would be really nice.
It's Go. Sorry, Ben, over to you. I'm trying to find out if that's true.
Yeah, we don't know, but that's my niece pun for the day. Ian, is Jed Spence going to score us 35 goals this year?
Spence, they should clear out. He's obviously, it's this thing about his attitude has been well documented. Regi on a keep. I think he'd be a really good cover for Udogie. Definitely. Yeah. Better than Davis at left back. That's for sure. And the first few games that he played for United, we got friends who are United fans who said he was their best player. Well, they got Dalot playing there. Now they've got Shaw coming back. They don't need Regi on there. So he's coming back. But he's definitely good enough to be covered. For sure. In terms of what I just saw in the comments about International Observer talking about dividends, as a shareholder, I can assure you that I've never had a dividend from the club. I think the only person who takes a dividend is Daniel Levy, which actually might be worth actually writing to the correct authority and finding out if he can actually pay himself a dividend and not shareholders. So that might be something to look at.
Dividends, though. I think he just pays himself a wage from the club.
But he paid himself a dividend after he brought the ground in, 600 million over budget and nearly a year over budget. Too late, over deadline. So, and lastly, regarding Todibo, if that's true, then I think that's got Ange all over it.
MZ, all I can say, he's a wonderful player. Pacey.
Yeah, he's the best player in the world.
Yeah, it's marvellous.
He's represented his country on numerous
times. He will score
times.
you 45 goals in a season and give you 100 clean sheets.
Die for West Ham would be the ultimate New Year's present, wouldn't it?
I think it's only fair. MZ gifted a member a membership for the month. So I think I should call Spurs and say, right, we've accepted an offer for Eric Dyer. And it was one month subscription to Tottenham on tour. Get the deal done.
Yeah.
It's a good deal. Damn good deal.
Great deal.
Listen, what I will say with Spence and Regi is it's Regi, we knew this was going to happen. It was only going to be 6 months. He's back. We've got to deal with it. He's back. Do I see him playing today? No. Do I see him in the squad today? No. Why? Because he'll be going out on loan before the end of January, at least a loan. His time at Tottenham Hotspur is done. Jed Spence, I've got a friend who's a Leeds fan. Now, obviously, he's come back. He hasn't played well, but he has played at left back for Leeds. And he, obviously, right back, I still think I think there could still be a player in there. Apparently, his attitude is, and we heard Neil Warnock say it when he went from Middlesbrough to Sheffield United. Sorry, Notts Forest. I think there is a player there. And if we can't find a left back, because I do think we need a left back, and I would love the guy from Fulham, love him, but that ain't happening. For 6 months to see if he can do anything, I wouldn't be too opposed if I wouldn't be. Do I see him staying? No. Do I see him playing? No. But the worst thing about this is the last thing when we're looking for defenders and we shorten them is two to come. And don't forget, we could be hearing the next few days that the ever reliable and always fit Japhet Tanganga
Absolutely
coming back. So there's 3 defenders in.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not saying this is because we're not going to do Dragusin, but that strength in depth, and then you could say, well, Romero and Van der Ven are ahead of schedule. There's 3 in reserve. So I see Regi gone. I see Regi gone by the 20th of January, if I'm honest. I think he's back off to Spain or Germany, but we'll have to wait and see. But Spence, there may be something to him staying. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Before we head on to the final topic of the show, which is indeed the Burnley Day, it is Angeball Day. But it would be absolutely lovely if all of you could subscribe to the coffee company. There are 230 of you in the chat. The coffee company is Tottenham on Tour's little baby channel hosted by me every single day. And Brian joins us, if not almost every day when he can, when he's not asleep because he gets up at 3 a.m. 230 of you. If all of you could get over there and sub to the coffee company, it would really mean a lot to myself and to the channel. And it would help the coffee company get to bigger views. And people always say that more people should sub to it. So get over there.
Yeah.
Get over there. That would really help us.
Also, before we go on to Burnley, another super chat from Tigara. Thank you so much, guys, for the support. Memberships are available as well. If you can support the channel via that method, please do so. If you want, there'll be a lot of content coming your way, starting with fan shows every second Wednesday, which will be next Wednesday. None of the top teams are spent because the Premier League will be handing down FFP findings in 13 days. Big clubs won't spend this window. This is the other great thing with why these excuses, not from Tigaro, won't work with me with Tottenham Hotspur when we've got ourselves in such a good place that the only irregularity is that Jermaine Defoe nonsense. We are, I think, what is it, in about 400 million available.
It was
that
a few years
let's
ago.
be kind and say 250. Around 250 million we could spend without even touching the sides of FFP. So whereas that may be evident for a lot of teams, again, Levy put us in one thing he has done is put us in a great situation for FFP. A great situation where this isn't even a worry for us. But we've heard that he's worried about the next FFFP. I'm adding an extra F. Fuck.
FFFP.
Fucking fair play. Blah, blah, blah. So, Tigaro's bang on the money. We saw with Notts Forest, they've escaped it. Yeah. They're still dealing with City and Chelsea. So God knows how long that'll take. But yeah, we're in such a good situation on that note that this shouldn't even be an issue for us. That should be that should be an extra incentive for us to go spend.
Yeah.
Because other teams can't. But yeah, Ben, you wanted to touch on Burnley.
It's Burnley Day. It's Burnley Day. What's everyone's thoughts of the game? We will go around what everyone thinks of the game, and then we will get everyone's predicted starting 11 because it is going to. I think Reguilon might play today. I think he might play. I agree with Ian for the most part that maybe Reguilon could be a decent backup for us going forward. What do you think of the Burnley game today, David?
Looking forward to it. I'm hoping Ange doesn't do a Fulham, to be fair, because I think we need to go quite as strong as possible, really, don't we? Do you know what I mean? We've got no European football. I know we're riddled with injuries, but we know that at the end of this month, we've got a fair few players back. So I'd like to see a pretty strong team. I'd like to see 1 or 2 younger players within the squad as well. I think this is a perfect opportunity to give them a little chance. Do you know what I mean? And some of the players a little bit of a rest. But yeah, I'm excited for it. Looking forward to it. I think we'll win. Hopefully. You know what I mean? Because Burnley have struggled and, you know what I mean, we've already beaten them this season. But it is a cup game and we know how they go. You know what I mean? If we don't turn up, it could be pretty bad for us. And for us to not sign any players and get knocked out of the FA Cup, that could look pretty bad on us, couldn't it?
I mean, what's your thoughts? Do you get furious if we get knocked out the FA Cup tonight? I've just seen Ash saying Ali is predicting Fraser Forster to start.
No,
just about
no.
to talk about that. I'm sorry, I cut because Sean Slater and I were discussing this, and I was discussing this with Simeon when we're doing predicted lineup. If I see him instead of Vicario,
Yeah.
straight away, I'm going to get very angry. I will tell you now, I am going to get extremely angry. And I even said today to Sean, if we have Van der Ven and Romero in front of them, I might have said, okay, Foster and goal, you got the two. This cup, and I'll keep saying it, I don't care how many times I say it, means more to me than it. I have such an attachment, as people of my generation and older, especially people of Ian's generation, like my father and everything. This means everything. The FA Cup, forget the money and the whatever. This cup, not even as a Spurs fan, as a football fan from time gone by, this cup is the biggest thing, domestic cup wise. And we're already out of one cup. There's no bullshit about game pile up. Straight away, if I see him in the lineup, we're not taking this seriously. The rest of the team, whatever. But you cannot disrespect this FA Cup. You cannot. No. I don't care what's in that he may need game time. If Vicario is not in the starting lineup today, that sends a huge message out to me personally about how we're treating this FA Cup. And I will be, if we go out and Forster's in goal, Andrew management tomorrow is going to be off the chart.
Angry?
My reaction will be off the chart. Stay away from me. I will be radioactive.
And that reminds you, tune in to Tottenham on Tour, the world famous home of Levy out at 12 p.m. tomorrow afternoon for Andrew management with Mr. Daigle and Mr. Johnny if he passes fitness test.
He's passed it. He's passed it.
And the Flyers have not got to him already. Mr. Cousins, what's your thoughts on the Burnley game?
Well, I agree wholeheartedly with what Brian says. The FA Cup, when I was growing up, it was the only game that was on telly, basically, unless England was playing. And it went on all day. The FA Cup is special. You know, like, I mean, I used to watch it every year. And luckily, when I was growing up, Tottenham were in it a lot of the time. You know, 81, 82, 87, we won't talk about. And, of course, 91. And the FA Cup obviously holds a place in my heart because of what happened around 91. We won't go into that, but, you know, but the FA Cup is the FA Cup. When we won it in 91, if someone had said until 2024, you will not win it again, I'd have never believed them. Because when we won it in 91, we were the record holders. That was our eighth.
Yeah.
And we were the record holders. And if someone had said you're not going to win it for the next 30 whatever years, you know, I'd be like, no, we'll win it next year. But, you know, because it was our cup. And nowadays it seems to be like just relegated to some sort of, you know, I mean, it's the Premier League that's ruined it because of all the money involved with that.
Also, the Champions League has become massive because of the aura around it.
Yeah.
But what happens? Do we go mental at the manager? Do we go mental at the club? Who do we go mental at?
Add to this, Ian, when you answer Ben's question, I wanted to talk about. I was going to respond, but incorporate this into whatever Ben's about to say.
What do you do, Mark? Do you go what happens? Let's say hypothetically, if we play a weakened team tonight and we lose, because Burnley, we can't underestimate Burnley.
No.
Cannot underestimate them. They are a Premier League opposition that they can beat anyone on any given day.
Well, put it this way. Ange said in his press conference that every game he plays, he wants to win.
Yeah.
No matter competition, he said, silverware is important. And so you've got to know, if we play all the kids tonight and we lose 2-1 or we lose, then the pressure is coming from above to say, look, the league is more important. We need 4th spot. Because let's face it, that is all Mr. Levy is interested in, is the 4th spot, the Champions League money. Right. Now, I'm pretty certain all of us here would swap 4th spot for an FA Cup.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Damn right. 4th spot means nothing to me. So what? So what? We're on a Tuesday.
Third loser. You're the third loser.
Yeah. So, 4th spot. So, all right, you're on a Tuesday and Wednesday. I'd sooner the FA Cup and be on a Thursday night. You know what I mean? Because if you finish 5th, you're in the Europa League.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like Ange has already said in his press conference that cups are important. He said, I want to win every game. And if we do put out a real weak team tonight and we lose, then, we've heard the stories in the past about certain managers wanting to play certain players, and Mr. Levy's been involved and said, no, you got to play.
Mourinho!
Yes.
Oh, God, I just had a cough.
That was the one. That's the one.
That was
Who was it he wanted to play? Who was it he wanted to play?
Well, he wanted to play his full-strength team for the League Cup final.
That's right.
But Levy wanted him to rest players and play the full-strength team against Southampton. That's what got him sacked.
And there's another story about. Was there another story about someone wanting to put Harry Kane in a team?
Tim Sherwood, yeah. He wants to sell Harry Kane for 300 grand, but Tim Sherwood said, no, I'm playing him.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. And because I've heard all these stories in the past, like there's ex-managers that have come out and said, like, he wanted to play a certain player, and Daniel said, no, you must play him. We're trying to sell him.
Yeah.
It's...
Why do you think Eric Dyer is being played all the time?
Yeah. Yeah.
We got C bringing but 4th spot means Champions League, means better players incoming.
No, it doesn't.
When was the last time?
It doesn't.
When was that last time Tottenham Hotspur bought a top-class player when we had Champions League football? All the best players we've ever bought have all been when we haven't had Champions League football.
And Levy's wanted to get back into it. That's what it
and Levy wants to get back into it. So he buys better players to get back into the spot. Yeah. The last one we bought was Raphael van der Vaart.
Let me just add to this as well. Arsenal haven't had Champions League for 6 years and plump 100 million down for Declan Rice. Whether it's overpriced or not, they've had 6 years without it. We had years with it, got to a final, miraculously, and still didn't reinvest in quality. I'll leave that there.
Yeah, that is.
See, my issue with this, right, and I've always thought this, and whether people agree with me or not, this is just my opinion, there is no money in winning a trophy. There is more money in getting into Champions League.
Yeah, of course.
And that's what Daniel Levy always looks at, you win the Carabao, you win the FA Cup, or you even win the Prem. You don't get that much money for winning them trophies. The Prem may be because of obviously other factors, but he knows he's challenging the likes of City, Liverpool, all them for it, right? And he just doesn't want to compete in that type of financial fight. Whereas you get in Champions League spot, you get an influx of money for getting in the Champions League. Whether you win it or not, you get a load of money. And I've always felt that from Levy is that's why the top 4 is more important than silverware, because you get more money from that. I think winning the Carabao, you get something like, 2 million?
I think it's about the same for the FA Cup as well.
Yeah, it's about 2 million. And there's nothing to him. Do you know what I mean? No. Because like someone said in the chat, Mourinho, a week before a final.
Yeah.
Right? If you were genuinely a football fan, regardless of financials or regardless of an extended contract or anything, you can agree to end that contract. Whether it gets like an extended for a year or something, you can come to an agreement. You win that trophy for your fans. He chose not to because he didn't want to fight to get Mourinho out of the club afterwards. Which for me just shows you everything.
You look at when Pochettino was here. We constantly finished in the top 4. What was invested into the team then to push us on towards like winning the league? Nothing.
Nothing.
We went 500 and something days without signing anybody. When we had arguably the best team in the league at that stage.
Yeah.
Mark, the reason for that was that Poch wanted rid of 7 players. He was told that whatever money was generated from the sale of those 7 would be given to him, but the players were priced too high.
Well, exactly.
And Poch ended up with nothing. What Ben said is 100% correct regarding Jose. He was told to play a full-strength team against Southampton. There was a big argument. He ended up getting sacked.
Yeah. The thing is
unbelievable. When people in Australia, do you remember when it switched from SBS to Channel 7 or whatever? Ball went out, channel went to ads, and we missed the goal. I can't imagine having ads during live football. I know they do it in the NFL, and I watch it. It's the pain of my life watching the NFL and the amount of adverts. But can you imagine missing a goal?
something like that happened in this country. Was it one of the World Cups?
It was the World Cup when America scored against us. When America, or was it the Gerrard goal or was it the USA goal? When Rob
I remember seeing Rob Green slip it. It must have been Gerrard's.
Yeah. When Gerrard scored against the USA, there was an advert during it. ITV.
It was on ITV. It was on ITV, and they went to a commercial break, and well, only went off for about 10 seconds. But by the time they realised they
missed the goal,
by the time they realised they pressed the wrong button, something had happened, and people were running about because someone had scored.
What do you think of this? Before we wrap up, Ian, what's your opinion on the everything we've just talked about?
Well, let me start with Forster. Is that there was a comment on him on here? If Vic does get injured and Forster hasn't played for God knows how many months, then that is a problem.
Yeah,
and he's not going to play Forster unless Vic's injured in a Premier League game. So this is his only opportunity to have his reserve getting some match action. So he may play Forster.
Yeah.
The only change I personally would make would be Phillips next to Davis.
Yeah.
I would keep it as strong, but we need to see what Phillips is capable of.
Yeah.
You know, we're talking about centre backs. We're talking about possibly losing out on Dragusin if he does go to Napoli. To Devo, it doesn't look as though he's going to be moving in this transfer window. So what do? Do we ignore Phillips? He may be good enough. He may be the cover. Nobody knows because he's not been given an opportunity.
Yeah.
Ian, let me just add to that. If Phillips starts, which I would personally want, then that's even more reason Vicario starts.
Yeah, for sure.
Even more
Absolutely.
reason. Yeah. I would rather see Phillips. Ian brings up a great. I would rather see Phillips or Dorrington or Donnelly, and youth players given a chance.
Yeah.
The thing is, Brian,
around them, but Vicario has to start for me. Start for me.
In answer to the rest of the conversation, very simply, this club is desperate for a trophy.
Yeah.
And that says it all.
Yeah.
You know,
we're going to give our predicted team news now, and then we're going to wrap up the show. Brian, what's your recommended team news? Okay.
Yeah, well, I'm going to stick with the team that me and Simeon did on We Are Tottenham TV. I'm hoping he goes full strength. I'm hoping, obviously, I think people haven't worked out who I want in goal. I would say I'm very, very slightly in favour of Big Vic coming in, or staying in, shall I say. Back four, I think, stayed the same. Yeah. Midfield of Bentancur, Skip, Lo Celso, and then Johnson, Richarlison, and we've actually gone for Kulu on the left.
Yeah.
We've actually gone for experimenting with Kulu. That's the team we've gone for. The closer we get into game time, I'm getting more concerned with what we're going to see. But like I said, I'm thinking we're going to win 3-1. I'm hoping Johnny and I are talking very, very positively in the next round of the FA Cup on Anger Management tomorrow. If we're not talking us being in the fourth round of the FA Cup, Anger Management will be yes. Mark is Mark
Marcus
definitely just said
what we coined yesterday on the coffee company, the most electrifying move in Tottenham Hotspur YouTube. The most electrifying move.
It doesn't matter.
David,
It doesn't matter what the most electrifying move is.
Damn right. Damn right. David, what's your team for tomorrow?
Yeah, well, I don't know if people agree with this, but I've gone a bit different. So, because obviously injuries and stuff, right? Obviously, Vicario on goal. I mean, he's fit, he's young. Why change it, right? On the left, Udogie, Davis, Phillips, and Emerson on the right. But bear with me, right? In the middle, obviously, you know what I mean? Lo Celso, who else we got in the middle? Skip and whoever, because we're pretty short there, and Kulu in the middle. Or Bentancur, Lo Celso, Kulu, maybe, a thing like that. Up front, I'm banging Johnson on the left, Richarlison up front, and Porro on the right.
Okay.
I think Porro can do a decent bit on that wing up there, and it just gives him a chance to, you know what I mean? He's good at taking players on and stuff like that. And I think it adds that kind of dynamic with Johnson and Porro. So, yeah, I've gone a bit unorthodox with that, but I think that could be okay.
Mark, predicted 11.
Oh, no. I'm not on social media a lot, so I don't know who's fit. So I always have a bit of fun. Obviously, I'd bring in Glenn Hoddle, Paul Gascoigne.
Yeah, I like it.
Paul Gascoigne, who will be having defence. Gary Mabbott, obviously, he's in there immediately.
Yeah.
Ledley King.
Gaza in the middle?
Who?
Gaza?
I've already said Gaza.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Gaza's in.
Oh, right.
Gaza's in. Hoddle was first on the list and then Hoddle just beneath him. Obviously, Gareth Bell.
Yeah, all right.
Ericsson, get him in. And who would play on the right? Aaron Lennon, maybe, or Stephen Carr?
Chris Hughton at left back?
Yes, yeah, of course. Yeah, no, or Danny Rose.
I like this team.
Yes. No, was it Kyle Walker or I don't know. It's either Kyle Walker or Danny Rose, whichever one of them plays left back.
Get Villa and Ardiles on the bench?
Yes.
Oh, some other names are coming in. Shivers and Archibald would start.
Oh, yeah. Of course they do. Yes.
Oh, I've got to get Cliff in.
In the next one down as well.
He can still do a job.
Yeah, and Ginola as well. Get him in there.
If you're going to play Hoddle and Gaza, you've got to have Ardiles as your number 6, haven't you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
There we go. Get on the phone. Ian, what are you going for team-wise?
Team-wise, we need to win this. Start with Vic. I wouldn't play Emerson right back. I think it's too big a drop from Porro. Porro, Phillips, Davis, Udogie, Bentancur, Lo Celso, and Kulu. And up front, I'd have Gill, Richarlison, and Johnson.
Okay, I'm just going to, Joe, what? Ray the Yid has just brought something up, and I want people to comment on YouTube on the comments after this show, because I'm going to make a bold statement now. To end the show on a very bold statement. If these two players had played together as long as Son and Kane had, this two would have been better. This two would have definitely won more trophies. Not that would be hard. And this two would be the Premier League record combination if they had had the same amount of time together, or if they were in this team. There you go. I've set the cat amongst the pigeons now.
Can I say I was at Anfield in the 6th round when we beat them 2-1? When we beat them 2-1, yeah, I was there, and they were on fire that day.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But on that note, David, where can people find you?
Here or on Twitter. I'm Rodrigo Roadman on Twitter. If you want to see really bad takes during the game, someone who sees things as they happen and tweets them and doesn't think, and some majority of the time looks really bad. There you can find me, Rodrigo Roadman on Twitter.
Mr. Cousins, where can people find you?
Now, what did I say last time? Pointing at the sky, shouting at aeroplanes, and worrying sheep.
Yeah.
It's true. I have to say what Nick said and the one El Teller said. Last word on Spurs, tweeted 6 minutes ago. Tottenham central defender Eric Dyer has agreed personal terms with Bayern ahead of a January switch. The deal has been endorsed with by Harry Kane. Fantastic, Harry. Brilliant. Thank you. Spurs will sanction the move. Oh, there we go. Spurs will sanction the move once we have a centre-back. Slow down, people.
It's got
Slow down.
Can I just say, is that football Insider 24/7?
Say
It's the
again?
source
Yes.
Football Insider 24/7. Don't listen to it.
Yeah, Football Insider is
And
not
so that will be in the summer then.
Mate, I think Watson said it. It said once Spurs get a centre-back in. So
The
Yeah,
summer.
We don't know.
Tesco,
Noise for noise. Them type of things are just noise for noise. Just
and,
noise for noise.
and Ian. Where can people find you, sir?
Well, first, can I just say with Dyer that if there is any money involved, that goes towards the Dragusin deal, and that should be then wrapped up quickly if Levy's got any sense. You will find me here at Lubo_61 for Twitter, on Spaces, and also here with you lovely guys.
Great stuff. Tottenham on tour will be back tomorrow.
they'll be back today, mate. They'll be back today in my reaction from the Scotland
Oh,
Yard.
yeah, of course. Videos as well. We'll be back with a video from Brian today. But as a live show, we will be back tomorrow at 12 p.m. lunchtime for the return of Anger Management with Brian and Johnny. Another quick reminder before you all go, please subscribe to the coffee company. I have just put the link in the chat again for anyone who has not subscribed, so please get over there. Thank you all so much for watching today's show. And if you smell what the cough is brewing, take it away, Aki.
And as always, Levy out.